You are absolutely amazing in this film. You're kick-ass in this film. And especially when you come out in that two-piece, you look phenomenal in this movie. Did you train extra hard for Mission Impossible?
I did, actually. I was filming A Crown at the same time and coming to Paris, and I knew that, you know, the script was evolving all the time, so we weren't sure how many stunts we'd be involved in, and I just thought, even if it's just one, I can't join a Tom Cruise movie, I can't join a Mission Impossible movie without being physically able to at least keep up, at least 5 meters behind him in a running race.
You run with him, don't you?
Oh, I run a little bit, yeah, just a little bit. But so yeah, it was really, it was part of the journey in a sense. So yeah, I did train really hard and hated it to begin with because I was so unfit, and then I loved it by the end. Absolutely loved it.
I understand that you may run a marathon. Is that right?
I've said it, but
she hasn't done it yet.
We're
in Paris. We could totally go for a run right now. How long's the marathon?
Should we do it in these heels? Yeah. Do you reckon? You probably beat me, to be honest.
No, I sweat a lot too when I'm running. But you know, this movie is absolutely amazing. That first time when you met Tom Cruise and he wanted to work with you, what was that initial reaction for you?
I just said, thank you. I'd love to. Because he kind of shook my hand. He was like, do you want to come and join us? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I can't say no. Yeah. So, yeah, it was quite surreal. But, you know, I instantly knew it would be a completely different journey, and I'd never done a kind of action movie before of this kind of in any way. So it was just a new experience for me.
You are good at action. You should be doing it.
I just have one little trick. That's it.
That's a pretty good trick to do. When you're working with Tom, did he give any, I guess, not a pep talk, but give you a conversation of how the film is made and give you an idea what to expect from Mission Impossible 6?
Yeah. I mean, I think him and Chris worked together on the last one, so they were very, very close, and they completely trusted each other, which meant that, you know, a lot of the scenes were always being worked out, and it was changing, and, you know, the plot lines were changing. So you didn't really, what you had to do was just find your character, and all I knew is that I needed to find an essence of who she was, and as somebody that was technically a baddie, and, you know, runs this kind of criminal network, and she's just in the first third of the movie in just the Paris section. Yeah. I knew that her presence would have to be slightly mysterious and really just odd. And so we wanted that sort of disarming presence, and that was something we worked on, which was quite hard for me, actually, because I was playing Margaret and kind of like putting everything out emotionally, you know, on the surface, and then to like wind it back in and not show anything was really hard for me. But also just the journey of, you know, taking a leap of faith and just going with the movie and, you know, doing what's thrown at you. And yeah, I'm sure all the actors would say that it was it's a very kind of...
A different experience too from Margaret, right?
Yeah, totally different.
Did Tom Cruise ever talk about The Crown on set? Does he watch the show?
He did, yeah, he loved it.
He watches Netflix?
He's a fan.
What?
Yeah. I know, that was quite surreal when he told me that.
What did he say to you?
He just loved it. He loved the music. He just loved everybody in it. Yeah, it was really, I texted Peter Morgan being like, Tom's a fan. So yeah, that was a surreal moment.
You know, when you talk about that, you moving into action, I understand they're going to be working with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on Fast and the Furious spinoff. It seems like you're on this incredible venture. You won a BAFTA for Best Supporting Actress. Are you living your best life right now in your career?
Yeah, the movie isn't confirmed yet, so I can't actually talk about it. No, it's okay.
If it happens, the rumor.
Yeah.
I mean, this is great.
It's just, I mean, for me, I feel after Margaret, you know, there was never sort of one particular genre that I wanted to go down, but I always felt that after her and playing a woman in that kind of protagonist role where the men are in relationship, it felt really important that no matter what the genre, that if you're representing as a woman, it's really important now to make sure that the women are as fierce as the men, if not fiercer. And from what I know of that project is that she is absolutely the boss of all of them and takes charge of all of them and is the fiercest by far. And I think that's really important because there are a lot of girls that go and see those kind of movies, and the girls that go and see those kind of movies see the men do all the stuff, and that's not fair. So I think it's really important to be representing on screen to show that those girls, you know, that they have just as much as capability, if not more, than their counterparts.
You know, I love the fact that you're talking about empowering women. And when there were things that were written in the tabloids, you shut it down when things happened. Were you shocked by the change in your life when that happened?
The tab about Tom, you mean?
Yeah.
I know, that was just funny. It was so funny.
Yeah.
It was so silly.
You were so good about it.
Tom and I never even talked about it.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm sure he wouldn't even know. You know, he doesn't. I'm sure stuff gets written all the time at that level of fame, and he just obviously doesn't pay attention.
Yeah.
But it was just funny. I think that's the first story came out when I hadn't even met him. We hadn't started filming, and I was apparently getting married. And I was like, well, that's news to me. I haven't got a ring, so you know, I haven't met my future husband yet. So no, it was just ridiculous. And I've had a boyfriend for years, so it was all a bit silly, really. But you know, you just go. For me, it was actually great because you realise that you just can't believe anything that you read. So anything that I see about anybody now, I just completely discount straight away because it's just to sell papers and you know, give someone something to read in the morning.
Right. I know that was a bit funny. It really was.
Yeah, marriages.
That's extreme. Now, when he broke his ankle and it was downtime for pretty much the cast and crew, did you do anything exciting or did you just kind of focus on your work?
I had to go do the press tour for The Crown, so we're in Australia and everywhere. Yeah, so I actually went directly and did that. So it was kind of, you know, it fit in perfectly. And Rebecca had a baby, you know. So there was lots of lovely things to come out of it, including I know that, you know, the movie's still open on time, and I think it actually gave Chris a real opportunity to get in the edit and see what was working, and it's all in the edit, this movie, I'm sure, because like those sequences, and because most of it isn't CGI, you know, in fact hardly any of it is. Putting it all together is such I imagine, you know, a really intense process. So yeah, in the end it all worked out fine, and Tom healed within 2 minutes, like a miracle.
I don't know.
It was amazing. I don't know. I really don't know.
MI7 in the conversation now?
I don't know.
Will you be the romantic connection to Ethan Hunt?
Never.
The widow.
No, the widow.
Right?
I know that
could happen.
Who knows? Yeah, you never know. Like Simon appeared in a few of them, and Michelle's back, and so you just don't know.
But you would look forward to doing it again.
Well, I mean, I'd love to. Anytime you set up a character and you start beginning to explore it, and you know, it was just a few scenes to really find that person. To kind of have the scope to kind of and go on a journey with someone that you've already made is really fun. I loved it with doing 2 seasons of The Crown. So why not?
Today's Emmy nominations.
Oh,
I think it is. The Crown's going to be nominated, and most likely you're going to be nominated. If you are nominated, would that be an exciting moment for you?
Do you know what? On that, it would, but on that job, it was just the happiest time of my life. And so even with the BAFTA, I couldn't believe it happened when it did, the nomination, but let alone winning it. And I had such a beautiful time in my life on that job. And with that character, I just felt so lucky and totally blessed. And so to anything else other than that is just like it is overwhelming to me, because I would never ask or need for anything more than that experience. So, yeah.
And finally, when you watched this movie, what was your reaction?
I couldn't breathe for most of it. I said, because I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah. When they fall out the plane and that and the bathroom. I mean, there's so many moments of it that I just go. I actually, you know, I was on that set, and I still don't know how they executed it in real life. I can't work it out without having someone at a computer paint it in, you know, to actually everybody did it. It was just quite incredible.
I can't wait to see what you do next, Vanessa. Another adventure movie, maybe another romance. I don't know what it is, but everything you do is so great. One more question.
Yes.
Meghan Markle. Are you excited about her being part of the royal family?
Yes.
Yes.
I think they look so in love and so wonderful. Everyone always asks us in The Crown because they think we're like an authority on how she or Harry feels. And I'm almost like, I think she feels wonderful and happy. But of course, you know, that's just what it looks like. And so, you know, it's great that she's been divorced, but she was allowed to marry the person that she loved in the way that, you know, Margaret wasn't. So
thank you so much.
Cool.
Thank you. I'm a big fan of Meghan too. Yeah, she's so cool.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of hers too. She's amazing.